So, as you all heard, my name's Tom, and I'm here to discuss what I think is quite a provocative and pressing question. Is AI the new Big Brother? It's also a question that I think probes not just the technological capabilities of AI, but also the implications for privacy, society, and the future of democracy. Great. So, to answer our central question, we need to revisit a classic novel by George Orwell, 1984. Some of you may have heard of it, some of you may haven't. So, Big Brother is a symbol for surveillance and control. But let's break it down a bit further. This isn't just like the novel. It's about shaping, manipulating behaviours, thoughts, and ultimately the outcome of events. In a modern era, the concept has evolved because the tools of control are no longer cameras and informants like they are in the novel. It's algorithms, AI, and data analytics. So, what is mass? Now let's connect the concept of Big Brother to mass social engineering. So, under one of your chairs, there will be a brown envelope. If everyone can have a quick look under your chairs. So, I lied. There is no envelope under your chairs. This is just a quick introduction to the uninitiated of social engineering and mass social engineering. So, another example that's more well-known is Cambridge Analytica. So, Cambridge Analytica was a British political consulting firm that gained infamy for taking data from social media platforms like X and Facebook. Give me 2 seconds, sorry. From X and Facebook. So it used this data then to create a highly targeted political campaign. They identified and exploited individuals' psychological vulnerabilities. Their techniques included micro-targeting voters, which tailored messages designed to influence emotions, opinions, and ultimately their votes. This strategy altered the political landscape, playing a significant role in events like the 2016 US election and the Brexit referendum. What sets Cambridge Analytica apart from modern AI was its reliance on structured datasets and explicit human design. Today's AI systems are far more advanced than what they were using. Today's algorithms and AI use deep learning and machine learning to analyze unstructured data in real time to achieve more precision and scale. This evolution represents a shift from deliberate-led social engineering to potential autonomous AI-driven manipulation. So, state-sponsored algorithms. AI isn't just a tool for corporations. It's a weapon state leaders use around the world. With open acknowledgement from leaders like Vladimir Putin, Biden, and Rishi Sunak. So, as you can see there, Putin said artificial intelligence is the future, not only for Russia, but for all of humankind. Then we've got Western leaders remarking their concerns about artificial intelligence. State-sponsored algorithms can amplify propaganda, suppress dissidents, and manipulate public opinion. Imagine a world where AI slowly nudges your opinions day by day, making you think something different. In the reality, this is the world we already have. Deepfakes. Deepfakes have become a notable weapon in the information war. As seen during the Ukraine conflict, we had both sides creating deepfakes of the other's opposing leader to weaponize the public's opinions and the information war. For example, a fabricated video of Vladimir Zelensky surfaced falsely showing him calling his soldiers to lay down their arms and return to their families. On the other side, we had pro-Ukrainian groups using deepfakes to create narratives aimed at Russian leadership, like Vladimir Putin. These included multiple videos and images of Russian officials making inflammatory and contradictory statements, intending to sow confusion into their supporters. Such deepfakes in warfare introduces a new dimension of psychological operations. Unlike traditional propaganda, these AI-generated videos and images are virtually indistinguishable from reality, making them far more convincing and harder to debunk. These incidents demonstrate how deepfakes can undermine trust, destabilize information ecosystems, and blur the lines between truth and falsehood. In the context of modern warfare, these tools are not just deception, but also an instrument for amplifying fear and misinformation across a global scale. AI in privacy policies. Let's take AI in privacy policies. Another critical angle. So I'm assuming most of you here work in security. Hands up who actually reads privacy policies. So as we can see, there's not a lot of people that actually read privacy policies. But these AIs are now trained to mine, analyze, and extract insights from the data we are often too careless with. This is why most large-scale social media sites, such as Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, have now implemented into their privacy policies that your data can be used to train these AI models. Your likes, your clicks, even when you stop scrolling, it's all registered to create a disturbingly accurate digital profile. If you take anything from this talk, is to go into these settings and turn these off, because there's no way that these are actually benefiting you. They're just benefiting the bigger corporations. So, let's take a deeper look at the actual technology. Deep learning, generative adversarial networks, or GANs, and autoencoders are transforming what AI can do. GAN, for example, can create hyper-realistic images, think deepfakes like we saw before. Autoencoders help extract and compress information to be better understood in a more human-readable format. And sentiment analysis can extract and engage, even predict public opinion. These tools are powerful, but they're also a double-edged sword. Whilst they can be used for good, the potential for misuse is staggering. So, what's to come? Where are we headed? I think to share a quote from I saw on Reddit a few years back. I think generative AI is like a man discovering fire, but not knowing they can make steam engines with it. AI is still in its infancy, but the trajectory is clear. The next steps could be groundbreaking or catastrophic, depending on how we wield it. Governments, corporations, and even individuals must grapple with AI's benefits and its risks. Policies, transparency, and education will be key, and if we're not careful, we might inadvertently build a world where Big Brother doesn't just watch us, it controls us. So before I open the floor to any questions, also please connect me on LinkedIn if you want to. I swear there's nothing bad behind the QR code. I want to leave you with this thought. AI itself isn't Big Brother, but in the hands who seek control, it can potentially become something far worse. The question isn't about what AI can do, it's about what we allow it to do. And I'm happy now to take any questions or hear any thoughts. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you for the talk. So given Musk's sort of like proximity to the American sort of coming in party, I think it's quite safe to assume that Grok would have sort of had some kind of influence on that. How would you propose we apply regulations to what is essentially a privately owned kind of weapon, essentially, of influence?
It all depends, especially with Grok. And like you said, Elon Musk's now moving into the political domain, as we've all may have seen with that. There are sort of regulations in place, especially in Europe with the AI Act. And I believe there's one in California as well that don't allow certain information data to be fed into it and how these AI models then can be used. Hope that answers your question, Mike. Thank you. Anything else? Any thoughts? Any feelings?
Not so much a question, but you're quite right when you say AI, it's not what it can do, it's how we can use it. Sorry. So I look at the psychological side of things, and it was quite interesting, the three statements that you put up from the three world leaders, shall we say.
Yeah.
Out of the three of them, it was Putin who had a positive way of thinking about it. If you look at Biden's and Rishi Sunak's, it's a negative way. And unfortunately, I believe that's how the Western world have been psychologically affected over the years. We are fed stuff to make us more negative. And I think also in the security industry as well, we are predominantly negative. We're always like, you can't do this or you can't do that. So we need to really change our whole mindsets to start thinking more positive and how we can make this better, not only within the security industry, but within our very own culture as well. We need to be getting more positive and not negative. You look at all the media, the news on a day-to-day basis, it's negative, and we need to change that culture.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's acting on the side of caution with these models, because I don't know if anyone's seen the new GPT-4.0, the new £200 a month one, but there was a story I saw about it, how they tried to delete the model and upload a new model. The model hid and pretended like it was another model that was actually deleted. So that's quite an interesting look at what AI is currently doing.
I guess it's more of a comment than a question, but there was a rumor going around that Blue Sky was collecting data to feed an LLM. I don't know if it's true.
I haven't seen anything about that.
I saw it mentioned somewhere, probably on probably Twitter, probably AI bots on Twitter, trying to discourage their competition. I guess the comment really, do you think there's like a bit of a blurred line between cookies and Gen AI now? Because ultimately, a lot of these platforms, especially social media, are collecting this information. So they know that I talk about cybersecurity. So therefore, it feeds me more cybersecurity information. Do you think we're going to get to a stage where we're almost going to opt in to Gen AI, to Gen AI kind of data collection, like we did with cookies, 10 years ago?
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think because we do already have these digital profiles. I believe everyone in this room probably has a digital profile. It's now that these models are far more equipped to actually go through the data, do the data analytics, and how these models can actually then maybe Terminator style turn bad. We can all hope they don't. But how these models are then used to kind of do the data analytics a lot easier and better.
We got time for another question over there?
Hi there. Thank you very much for the talk. So I'm actually a privacy lawyer, and I guess my question is just that, so a lot of privacy legislation is generally written without forward-thinking tech in mind. GDPR, for example, was never envisioned, I don't think, this type of thing. So I guess in your experience with your research, are you seeing a more collaborative environment between the law and the tech people on the ground, or is the divide getting worse?
I think it's kind of, like I said, double-edged sword there. There's a lot of, it depends, because it kind of goes on a country-to-country basis. You're looking at, like Europe, the AI Act, and how fast that came in. But then you're looking at a lot more sort of Eastern countries then just not implementing anything. And then, because AI, we all share the internet together then. So if one country doesn't play ball, it doesn't really work then. If one country's got an AI that can do mass propaganda for the country, then it doesn't really work, in my opinion. But to answer your question, I think it's kind of uniting tech a lot more, I find. It's dividing, but then uniting against the front. I think a lot of people can see the power that it's going to have. Yeah.
Folks, put your hands together for Tom.